Welcome to episode 10 of Little Bobbins Knits. My name is Dani and you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Little Bobbins, and we also have a Ravelry group which you can find by searching Little Bobbins Knits, and it would be lovely if you came and joined. Thank you very much to everyone who's been in touch over the last couple of weeks. We had a little builder's break last week because there was just too much noise and I couldn't film an episode, but it's probably better for you because I had absolutely nothing to show last week. I don't know what happened, but I got nothing of any note achieved, so I'm glad that I actually have stuff to show you this week. But yes, thank you very much to everyone who's been in touch, to everyone who's been chatting on the Ravelry boards, and it's just lovely to see you and chat with you, so thank you very much. Thank you to everyone who's joined the group. It's really exciting seeing that there are new members, and welcome. And thank you to everyone who has subscribed on YouTube. It's still really exciting getting those emails pop up saying that someone new has subscribed, so thank you very much. Thank you also to Shannon, who has the Minerva Turkey Knits podcast. She mentioned this podcast in her last episode. She started a knitting journal, which is very exciting, and I can't wait to see that. I've followed Shannon on Instagram for ages now, and I have been silently wishing that she would start a podcast because I knew it would just be brilliant, and it absolutely is. So if you haven't seen it, do watch it, because she's an absolutely lovely person with beautiful projects, and she's an absolute joy to watch. So thank you very much for mentioning this podcast, Shannon. So today I've got some works in progress to show you, some finished objects, some lovely things, some mittalong chat in which we discover that you're all doing much better than I am at the mittalong, and we have a question from the probably poorly titled "What would you like to see on the podcast" thread, because you can also ask me questions if there's anything you want to know. But we have a question from that thread, which is exciting, and we also have the giveaway for the goodies from Loop, so we'll draw for that at the end. So we'll start with works in progress. You good boy. Bobbin's just here again. He likes being my podcasting companion. So my first work in progress is the A Wee Bit Knitty mystery socks. I'm still working on them, and I've transferred them over, it's a right angle, to doing them two at a time, because I'm working on the final chart, which is just worked on the top of the foot, and it just made more sense for me to only have to read the chart once, so do it all over the row. So they are Cascade Heritage in the butter colourway on 2.5mm needles, and they have a completely cute donut stitch marker that was given to me by Emily Levy, so thank you, Emily. I love it. It cheers me up every time I see it. And yes, so they're coming along. I was finding that I was missing a few purl stitches, so in order to make it easier, I've separated the columns into 5 so that I have less to count every time, and then I'm just scribbling out the row below instead of trying to balance something on there to mark my row, and that's working really well now because I only ever have to count up to 5, and I can usually manage that, so that's good. And this is in my cute little pom-poms and cats bag. I've had a couple of questions about my project bags, and I don't really show them because I made most of them. I sell project bags and DPN cases and things in my Etsy shop, which a few of you have found. Thank you very much. I'm really bad at self-promotion. It's one of my terrible, I wouldn't say qualities because it's not a quality, but it's just something that I'm really, really bad at and I need to get better. But I appreciate the ones of you that have found it. Thank you. So I usually get the prototypes from my shop, or ones that, and this was a prototype because I wanted to practice applying the pom-pom, or I get, or I make ones for me out of fabric that I just can't bear to part with. But I'll start showing them if you're interested in seeing them. And I have been buying a couple of new project bags from other people, so that's exciting. So that's my first work in progress. My second are the never-ending wood pigeon socks. I think that needs to be their new name because, oh, they're a slog. And I don't know why, because I love the, well, I do know why actually. I love the yarn. I love how it's patterning. I love the colours. It's really nice yarn to work with. It's the West Yorkshire Spinners Signature 4-ply. What is it called? Signature sock? I think it's Signature 4-ply in the wood pigeon colourway. And the thing that's slowing me down is the linen stitch heel. Oh, that is just so boring. I have the utmost respect for any of you who have managed to make a linen stitch scarf, because those things are beautiful, but oh my goodness, doing this linen stitch for any length of time, I can't handle it. So I like to do my socks at the same time. So this one, I turn the heel and knit some of the foot. At the cinema, these are going to have to be cinema socks. I'm going to have to go and see lots of films until these are finished. But I stopped doing that because I wanted to get this up to the same sort of stage, and I got 26 rows through the linen stitch and just had to put it down. I've only got, does that mean 8 more rows left? And I just couldn't handle it. So yeah, I need to stop being ridiculous and just finish that, because I think it is going to be a really sturdy heel, and that's why I'm doing it, because they're going to a friend who destroys socks incredibly well. But I just need to get over that hump of the linen stitch heel, and then never do the linen stitch heel for as long as I live. So it's not necessarily a good exercise, because I don't need to know if this works, because I will never do it again. But yeah, this week I must get that finished. And this is in another bag that I've made, and I love this fabric so much. I just thought it was so cute, so I had to make a little bag for me out of it. I love the little cats. So my last work in progress is another sockhead hat. I finished the last sockhead hat a couple of weeks ago, and we went to football this weekend, and it's the most perfect football knitting because it's easily squish-upable in my bag for if it gets searched. I don't know how specifically, how worried they'll be about the needles. And I thought these are the least frightening looking needles because they're so short. So it's easy to hide in my bag, and you're just going round and round. So we had an hour to wait before the football started this week, because we had to get there early, and so I got a bit of my sockhead hat started. This pattern is by Kelly McClure of Boho Knits, I think, and I'm knitting it in Malabrigo sock in, now I knew this, It's completely escaped me. Stone Chat. It's in the Stone Chat colourway. Sorry, I didn't mean to shout that at you. But yes, Stone Chat colourway. I've already knit one sockhead hat out of this. So this is the 50 grams that I had left. And I have no idea who it's going to be for or anything. I'm just knitting it because I needed something to knit that was easy and little. Oh, and that's in my little sewing goats bag, which I think is cute. I love that fabric. Sometimes I find it really hard to cut into fabrics if they're really, really cute. And this was one of them because I just love the little sewing goat. So, finished objects. Now, I finished quite a few things. So, I'll just start with one, I guess. This is a Winner's Chief hat, just white. It's for a Christmas present and it's in football colours. So, not particularly interesting, is it? Cascade 220. Yep. Oh, I suppose one interesting thing did happen with this. I knit it all, and then I was convinced I'd made a mistake because where you do the decreases on this hat, it sometimes makes little bunches. It's not as obvious now for some reason, but you're knitting 3 together and it makes kind of little undulations, and I was convinced I'd done something wrong, even though this is the 3rd time I've knit this hat. So I ripped it all the way back and I sort of considered trying some different hats, but then I thought, no, I just need to get this one done. So I knit the whole thing again. So this hat has actually been knit twice, and it was boring both times, but it's done now, so I'm really, really happy about that. The pattern's interesting enough, but I think 3 times is enough times. It's going to be investigated by Bobbin now. So the Winner's Chief hat is by Stephen West. And my next finished object is the Dark Hat by Woolly Wormhead. This is also a gift, and it's still a bit damp actually. I was watching Tilly Trout Knits, which is another wonderful podcast. I absolutely love Tilly, I think she's brilliant. And she was knitting these 2 hats for a friend of hers to match his beard, which, brilliant. And one of them was this hat, and I just thought it was such a lovely design. It's quite hard to find hats for men, I find, because I don't want to knit something plain particularly, because I'll get a bit bored. And if the recipient is anything like my partner, he doesn't want anything particularly detailed. I've tried to get him to like cabled hats, and it's just not happening because I really want to knit some cabled hats. They're just going to have to be for me, I think. But I thought this was a good compromise because it's got interesting things going on with the twisted stitches on a reverse stocking stitch background, but it's sort of plain enough not to be really, really eye-catching, I think. So I really love this hat. It's by Woolly Wormhead. I don't know if I mentioned that. And I learnt a new cast on, alternate cable cast on, I think it was called. And I really like it. I don't want to stretch it out too much because it's still wet, but it does make for a really, really stretchy cast on. And this is knit in Malabrigo Rios in the teal feather colourway, and I really love the colour. I can't photograph the colour accurately because it keeps on coming up too bottle green, but it's the most beautiful teal. It seems okay on the screen actually, so you might be seeing it as it is, but and it smells like jasmine eucalyptus, which I still love. So they're 2 of my finished objects, and 2 that I really needed to get done, so I'm happy about those. My next finished object is my Stephen West Exploration Station mystery shawl. I'm sure you've seen it in lots of places now because loads of people have finished, but if you don't want to see, do look away. So I blocked it out last night, and I'm not going to be able to get the whole thing in the frame because it's huge. I blocked it quite aggressively. Oh, you can really see through it. And it's come out completely massive. I think it's 52 inches wide by 28 deep. And I really love it. I really enjoyed doing this edging. And I think it just finishes off the shawl so beautifully. It's got an I-cord bind off. And these lovely chevrons. And yeah, I'm just thrilled with it. It used 200 grams of yarn, all in all. This was the yarn that I custom ordered from Maya at the Wool Barn. It's a superwash merino, and I picked the colours because she had a 4 stripes self-striping sock yarn in these 4 colours, and it just looked so lovely that I asked her to dye me a skein of each of the colours so that I could use them in this shawl. And I'm really pleased with how they came out. And the yarn was completely lovely to use, and I'm so excited because I've still got huge quantities left. So I've got more than 40 grams of each left. So I'm plotting about what I'm going to knit with my leftovers. Oh, and that's in my Scary Clowns bag from Fondant Fibre. So yeah, I'm excited about thinking about what I'm going to use. I'm thinking, because I'm desperate at the moment to cast on everything, I need to cast on some fun things. It's brewing within me. I don't know if you get the same feeling, but I just get a fizzy in my tummy and it just comes up and up and up and just wants to explode. So I'm having that over casting new stuff on now. I was thinking of doing the I can't remember its actual name, but it's something Jekyll and Hyde, or I was only looking at it last night and I've managed to forget, but it's reversible. So you have lacy on one side, and I was thinking lacy, and then you have stripy on the other side. I was thinking stripy. So I might cast that on. But I also want to cast on the mystery hat that Woolly Wormhead has just done, because that is so beautiful. I saw Amy from Hudson Valley Knits podcast. Hers, she's just finished it, and it's such a pretty hat. So I'm really tempted to do that as well. But I have some yarn. I say tempted, I'm doing that. I balled up the yarn and everything. But I do have to get some more Christmas things done first. But I'm very bored of Christmas things. I don't know about you, but I seem to have lost my patience with it. I just really want to do some fun, for no reason, but fun knitting. So yeah, that's my exploration station shawl, and I really love it. My last finished object is a very exciting one. Oh, it's a very cute one too. I was lucky enough to test knit Miss Gelato Giraffe for Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears podcast. And she is so adorable. Thought she's going to get bobbined. You're right, Bobbin. You coming to meet the giraffe? Oh. And so I dropped everything to knit her. Or him, I'm not sure. But yeah, very, very, very cute. The pattern was brilliant. It was really clear. I don't think you could possibly make a bad giraffe. with that pattern because the steps are really clear. Come here then. And it's just so well explained, and there are lots of photos to guide you through the process. So I came out with this lovely fat-bellied giraffe. I love her belly. I knit this giraffe in Cascade 220 paints, I think. It's all in my project page, but I think it's Cascade 220 superwash paints, yeah, that's it, in the fruit salad colourway. And I like it because it's sort of got a vintagey look to it, I think. And her, I think she might be a her muzzle and horny bits and hand and feet parts are Rowan pure wool worsted, and her cardigan is Cascade Heritage in the herb colourway. I just think she's so cute, and his little tail. So I'm really thrilled with her. Mum has already bagsied her, which I'm not impressed about, but it just means I'm going to have to knit myself one. She hasn't seen it yet. I told her that I was doing the test knit and showed her the picture of Kay's giraffes. She said, oh, I need to have one of those for Christmas. So I haven't showed her the finished one, and she'll be getting a giraffe for Christmas. And I'll have to knit one for me. But yeah, I'm really pleased with that finished object. So cute. Oh, oh. At the moment she's just sitting in my sewing room keeping me company so that I can get some pleasure out of her before she goes off to Mum. So that's all my finished objects. Oh, and the pattern's out now. Kay's released it, so exciting. So that's all my finished objects. On to lovely things. So the last couple of weeks I have got some lovely things. The first lovely thing, Bobbin and I received a package, which was very exciting. Michelle from Dancing Dog Dye Works is a fellow Chihuahua enthusiast, which makes me happy. And so her little Chihuahua, Henry Noodle, wanted to send Bobbin some presents. And Michelle sneaked in a little present for me in the package, which was very exciting. So Bobbin got some toys, which you love, don't you, Bobbin? Yeah. And I got some just breathtaking yarn. It is gorgeous. It is absolutely my current favourite colours, all wrapped up into one beautiful skein. So this is Dancing Dog Dye Works Twist Sock in the Maleficent's Dragon colourway. Oh, and I love it so much. I think I'm going to save this. I cast on a pair of socks every Christmas Eve. And I think these are going to be my special Christmas Eve socks. Usually we go round to Mum's, eat a lot of cheese, play Cluedo, and I cast on some socks. So I think it's going to be these ones. So I'm just thrilled about that. It's just gorgeous. She sent me this wonderful postcard, which is perfect and is going to go up on my wall. And it was all wrapped up in this paw print paper, which I can't possibly get rid of, so I'm going to have to find something to use it for because it's just so cute. So I'm over the moon about that. Thank you so much, Michelle. And Henry Noodle, of course. Hey, Bobbin. I also got this huge project bag. As I said, I make project bags, so I sort of feel like I'm cheating or being lazy if I buy project bags. And then I got that kit from Fondant Fibre, the It kit, with the It bag, the clown bag. And I just love using that bag so much. It's so nice using something someone else has made. And I should know that. That's a ridiculous thing to come to the conclusion of so late. But yeah, that just made me realise, no, I'd really like some bags by other people. So I was having a look. I found this really cute one. It's got sheep on it. It's an upholstery weight fabric, so it's a bit thicker, and it's been padded as well. And it's massive. And it was from Quince Pie on Etsy. And it's really lovely, really roomy. It's got pockets and lots of stuff in. So that's a new acquisition. I won't close it actually because I've got more bits in there to show you. And I also got this cute little badge from a homespun house from Molly. She's just opened her new shop full of beautiful things, and I just couldn't resist that cute little sheep brooch. So there's some new additions. You can investigate, Bobbin. I also got the yarn for this hat was new, and at the same time I got another skein. This is in the Candom colourway. This is also Malabrigo Rios, and I also got this one. Oh, I love that one. It's lavender, also Malabrigo Rios, and I think that this is going to be one of those Ricky hats, or Rika, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Bobbin, there's nothing to eat in there. Good boy. So I can't wait to cast that on. I need to start a list of things I want to cast on, because I just want to cast everything on, and there's got to be some order to this, otherwise it's just going to go wild. In the best way, of course. I might just have a cast on party and cast on everything that I want to cast on. Feels a bit naughty with Christmas things to do, but we'll see. And I also got a lovely package from Jessie, who is Ucha on Ravelry and Instagram. We did a sock scraps swap, and hers arrived, and she sent me loads, which was so exciting. So I can't wait to knit with these. Jessie's blanket is one of the reasons that I started this blanket in the first place. Well, hers is the sole reason that it's the size it is, because hers, I love her big squares, so I asked her how many stitches she cast on and completely copied her, because her blanket is so wonderful. And yeah, so I'm really, really excited to add these lovelies into my blanket. Oh, look at these. Love those colours together. Oh, Bobbin, that's very in the way. So I'm really, really excited about those. We were worried that the package had got lost because it took a while to get here, but it turns out it just took a little detour to Germany, because America to England, it seems like Germany would be a good little stop off maybe. But yeah, I'm so pleased that they finally arrived, and thank you so much, Jessie. Jessie has the most inspiring pictures on Instagram and Ravelry. She's just lovely. So yeah, I'm so excited to knit those in. Good boy. My last acquisition is in this big pink bag. It's bigger than you, Bobbin. It's very big. As I said, we went to football on Saturday, but we went up on the Friday night because it's a long journey. To go to football, we drive about nearly 4 hours to our team's home ground. And we also go and watch them when they play away. And when they play away, I always have a look to see if there are any yarn shops on the way or at the place that we're actually going to, because it just seems logical to combine a yarn shop trip with going somewhere different. But this time we went up on the Friday instead of the Saturday, so we had a bit more time. Usually we're a bit rushed. And I remembered that I heard on Zena's podcast, the Little Yellow Uke Crafts, which I love. That's a brilliant podcast. And Zena had mentioned that her local yarn shop was called Sitting Knitting, and it was in Sutton Coldfield. And we kind of passed there on the way to football. It's about halfway, maybe a bit less than halfway, but so I was really, really excited. I just suddenly came up with this when we'd already got in the car. We'd already put our destination into the sat-nav, and then I had to quickly Google the address for Sitting Knitting and put that in, and luckily it wasn't too out of the way, so we stopped there on our trip, and it was such a lovely yarn shop. I'm so envious, Zena, that you get to go and knit there for knit nights and things, because it's exactly how a knitting shop should be, because it's full of yarn. There's a lovely table in the middle for you to sit and knit, and there's a comfy sofa for you to also sit and knit, and the owner was just so friendly. It was such a welcoming and cosy environment. It was, yeah, exactly what a yarn shop should be, I think. So I was really pleased to stop off, and I picked up 6 balls of this UK alpaca. Yep, super fine double knit alpaca and blue-faced Leicester yarn. It's a very, very dusky purple. It's not that sort of bright plummy colour that I can see on the screen. It's sort of vintagey. And I am very eager to start the Campside shawl. I think it's by Alicia Plummer. But I saw Alex, who's Time to Sew, on Instagram. I think she's the same on Ravelry, but I'm not sure. I remember Instagram names much better than Ravelry names. She knit a Campside shawl in Juno Fibre Arts. Oh, and it's so beautiful. It's huge and cosy, and it's just lovely. So I really want to knit one out of this, and that's totally the wrong colour. So this is another contender for my cast-on party. So far, my cast-on party is all purple. Excellent. But yeah, so if you're ever near Sutton Coldfield, go and visit Sitting Knitting, because it's just a lovely yarn shop, and we'll definitely be going back again. And hopefully I'll be able to run into Zena while I pop in next time, because it'd be lovely to meet you in person. I also got, this isn't yarn, but it's related. I've got some of these clover locking stitch markers. I bought some of these about years ago, an amount of years ago, that is a lot, and I've only got about 3 left, and they're the best locking stitch markers I've used, because they don't snap like the others. So I had to pick up a set of those. So yes, that is all of my lovely things. Very, very lucky. So, mittalong chat. I have been rubbish on my mittalong knitting. I haven't knit any since the last time I showed my mittens. I think it's because I have to concentrate, and I'm still having issues with the concentration. So yeah, they haven't got any work, but I am completely amazed by all of the mittens that you're knitting. They are just amazing. They're beautiful, and just so, I love all the different patterns that are coming up. They're just all the different yarns that you're using. I need to knit a pair of those little piggy mitts that one of our group members has knit 2 pairs of for her grandchildren. They are just the cutest things. I would like a pair of those, I think. And yeah, so I've been really, really enjoying looking through the finished objects thread. You've got until next week to get the finished objects pictures in the thread, so keep going. And thank you to everyone who's joining in with the chat in the group and hashtagging their mittens on Instagram with hashtag LBK mittalong. It's just been really exciting to see all of your mittens happening. I've loved it. So I'll show you the prizes just for the last time. Bobbin, you might have to move out of the way. Should we just put you over there? Go sit next to the little giraffe. Good boy. That was an angry snort, if you missed that. So don't move me. So we have this lovely skein of, not for bobbins, Louisa lace from Fondant Fibre. Beautiful merino and silk blend. Gorgeous. And we have this lovely squishable project bag and stitch markers in a mitteny tin from Spinning and Stitching on Etsy. And we have this fantastic patchwork project bag from Emily Levy on Ravelry and Secret Goodies. And we have a pattern up to the value of £5 from our very generous anonymous donator. So thank you very much to everyone who's donated prizes, and thank you very much to everyone who's joining in. It's just been so lovely to see all of your mittens. So, question from the thread. So if you haven't seen, in the Ravelry group, we have a what do you want to see on the podcast thread. And Fibre Nymph, who is Lisa, who does the 90% Knitting podcast, which is actually one of the first podcasts I started watching, which is really exciting, asked a question on there. She said about how it's lovely hearing me talk about my mum. We seem very close, which we are. And she was wondering if my mum ever watches my podcast. I'm often knitting gifts for her, and she was curious if she ends up seeing them on the podcast or not. It would be tricky to surprise her with things if she's a regular viewer. So thank you very much for your question, Lisa. Mum has been banned from watching the podcast. She's very jealous because my Auntie Jack watches the podcast. Auntie Jack. But yeah, Mum's not allowed to watch the podcast until after her birthday, which is in January. She says that she's going to sit and have a marathon session of watching, which sounds mortifying to me, so I'm going to have to leave the house. She doesn't have internet at her house, so I know that she's not sneakily watching. So yeah, she's going to watch them all, and I am going to have to go out because that would be torture, having to watch them all. Oh, I'd just be so embarrassed. I really related to what Lena said on A Wee Bit Nitty, her most recent episode. She said she hadn't even told her mum that she does a podcast, and I totally get that. I love chatting with everyone about the podcast, and I love that people watch, because obviously I wouldn't do it if people weren't watching, because that would just be weird. But people who know you in real life watching is a little bit strange. I can't... Yeah, so it's going to be really embarrassing when my mum watches. But she'll be lovely about it, because she is lovely and she'll be kind about it. But yeah, so she's getting ready for a marathon session of watching. So I need to find something to do at that time so that I'm not around. but then I imagine she'll want to start watching them as they come out. It's really, really hard keeping secrets from my mum, because if I get excited about something, I just want to tell her immediately. We're always sort of, she only lives sort of 5 minutes drive away, but we're always exchanging photos on our phones and letting each other know what we're up to, and I'm always sending her progress pictures of my knitting, the ones she's allowed to see anyway. So it is really hard at Christmas time or her birthday to keep projects a secret, especially if I'm really excited about them. Like her Knit Your Love shawl, I really love that, and I just can't wait for her to see that, because I know she'll really love it too. And this little giraffe, I've really wanted to show her that a couple of times, but I just can't, and send her pictures of it propped in peculiar places, because that'd be fun. But yeah, so it's really hard to keep secrets from her, and she's very nosy. She will look around the house at new stuff and question me about it. She was looking over my shoulder the other day when I was on Instagram, and she saw the picture of the well-dressed bunny that I'd Instagrammed. I don't know if it registered that it was my picture or not, so she's seen that, even though she's going to get that. But yeah, so that's how it is with my mum and podcast watching. So thank you for your question, Lisa. If any of you have any other questions, do feel free to ask in the What Do You Want to See on the podcast thread, and I'll do my best to answer. So our last thing, because I think Bobbin needs some serious cuddling. He's getting very, very paw-y, is the giveaway for the loop goodies. So not the bobbins, the needle gauge and the canvas bag. So I have put the numbers into random.org between 2 and 117, and thank you very much to everyone who's entered. And I'm hoping that this will work, because a couple of people posted more than once, and there are a couple of people who aren't members of the group, so I'm just going to keep my fingers crossed that we'll find someone who is, and it's their first post. So generate. My internet doesn't like me if I'm upstairs. Seems to be ignoring me. Hang on. Generate, please. Go on. It's ignoring me. Technical hitch. Hang on a second. Right. Anyway, so 2 to 117. Generate. And it's come up with number 34. So let's go and have a look who number 34 was. You're right, Bob. Let me just take a picture of that. You're a good boy. So, oh, where is it? There it is. Yep, I've locked it. 34. Number 34 is Jedi Chick 3. Yes. So, and she's a continental knitter. It was really interesting seeing the sort of numbers of people who were continental or English. Here she is. And that's Emily, and she's from Kansas. So congratulations, Emily. Let me know your address via PM on Ravelry, and I will send you your bag and needle gauge. So that is very exciting. And she's got a pet hedgehog. Oh, That is so cute. Oh, very, very cute. So yeah, get in touch, Emily, and I'll send out your prize as soon as I can. So thank you very much to everyone for joining in with that giveaway. It was just so brilliant to hear about all your different knitting styles, and yeah, it has made me... I'm trying to persevere with this continental thing, but it just doesn't... I think because it just doesn't come naturally, it feels like such a slog when I could just do it so much quicker with my other hand. So when I've got some Christmas things out of the way, or finished with love, should I say, then I will definitely get back to practicing. So that's everything for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you next week when we'll draw for the prizes for the mitten along. Yeah, keep adding your projects to the finished object thread. I will close it. I usually close the threads as soon as I'm about to podcast, just to make sure everyone's got as much chance as possible of getting theirs in. And I hope to podcast on Monday, builders allowing. So yeah, get those in, and yeah, I look forward to chatting with you on the boards or on Instagram. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye.